Watch me flip this flyer and listen to 7 reasons why you need to hug an awesome mom or an awesome dad today. This is Reddit venting. 1. I wish I could just send out a PSA to all neurotypical parents to practice better understanding. I just don't know how we can have a more inclusive future if we don't lead by example as parents. 2 weeks ago, we were at a kids' amusement park. My daughter, 5, autistic level 2, had one hand out and one hand holding me. She didn't mean to, but she accidentally touched another mom on the leg. And the mom said to her family, "Ew, why did that girl touch me?" I look back in just one shock that someone would be surprised they got accidentally touched by another human behind at a packed amusement park for children. And 2, disgusted. My daughter was struggling that day to regulate her sensory needs, and it was obvious. We were actually trying to leave, and I was holding her hand, and she just had her other hand out, and I can't control every single thing at every given moment. And today, at swimming, she was with an instructor for a one-on-one class, and they knew she has autism, and instead of returning her to me as I was walking down the steps with a towel, because it's the first thing she goes for to dry her face, they took her out at the other side, where she went to a table where a mom was sitting with 2 towels. And I ran and I stopped her before she reached anyone's towels and told her, "No, we use our own items." But the mom's face of my daughter running to the table and the look she gave me as if my child was out of control, all I could say was, "I'm sorry, she has autism." And I hate that's what my comment was. I'm not sorry that she has autism. She's still my perfect child. Yes, she has struggles. Yes, she has different behaviors, but she's mine. I just hate the eyes and judgment from parents who are not in the same boat. If we take her out, she wants to be in a stroller. And I've heard comments made about her being too big for a stroller by complete strangers at the mall. It's just any time we try to take her to experience her community that she so rightfully deserves to take up space in as much as any other person does, someone has a comment or a facial expression or a judgment to make. I just hate that sometimes it feels like the motherhood community can have so much judgment versus understanding. And I'm not even looking for empathy. Just understand that not all kids have the same abilities. I know that this was just all over the place, but all of this has been on my heart and I'm just in tears and I just need to get this out somewhere. 2. Tell me it gets better. Just yesterday, I was singing my daughter's praises. Today, I wish she was never born. Some days it seems like she'll be okay. And in the same day, she'll have a total meltdown and all the progress seems like a fluke. Mornings are great most days. She smiles, plays until it's time for school. She enjoys her classmates and her teacher. She spends her afternoons with Nana and Grandpa while I hunt for a job. Lost mine just about after 10 years with the same place. But by the time she's home with me and her dad, she's cranky and irritable. She cries, has tantrums, screams. It just feels like no one understands. I spent 2.5 years with her while I worked from home. It was just us during the pandemic, and she was born at the beginning, because my parents worked and my husband's job was outside the home. It was daunting, but I kept my hopes up. I thought she would get better. Now, I'm just resigning myself to a life of this. A life of monitoring a child that can't speak and has meltdowns until we die, and she goes to a home and she'll wonder why mom and dad don't visit her. If I could, I'd give her away. I I just don't want her. I know that makes me a bad mother. I always imagined having a normal child. This isn't what I wanted. And I feel like I'm being punished. I'm sorry. 3. My life is exhausting. I feel numb. My 3-year-old son is an absolute nightmare, and I can no longer tolerate him. He's nonverbal, very aggressive, meltdown after meltdown. Diet is awful, as is sleep and bedtime. And I feel angry all the time. I do not enjoy life. I spend my days being bullied by a horrible child that I sometimes wish I never had. Nothing I do is ever good enough. As somebody who was previously very religious and lived a good Catholic lifestyle, I no longer believe there is a God. How can there be? Why would we deserve this life? I don't have a life anymore. I basically just exist in a very sad and painful life, given everything that I have to a child that at the minutes I just feel like doesn't deserve the effort. I'm not cut out to be a parent to a child with learning difficulties, and honestly, I just don't want to be. 4, I just can't keep doing it. Every year, she just gets harder. She'll have random bursts of happiness while she'll run around laughing. But for the most part, she makes extremely grating and sudden grunting noises that makes me jump out of my skin. Or she's straight up screaming like someone is hurting her. I don't know what I'm doing. I wasn't trained for this. I'm just a normal person. My nerves are shot. I can never relax. I'm so tensed up all the time. It's been over a decade and nothing has gotten better. Everything is worse. My family is completely shunned from society, even if we did go out, which we never do. She can't handle that much time in the car. She watches the roads that we take, and she screams bloody murder if she doesn't like the route. She screams in the parking lot. She screams in grocery stores. She hates walks. She hates playgrounds. She hates the backyard. Other than her iPad and movies and shows, she has no interests. And even those make her scream a lot of the time. It's like suddenly she hates things that she used to love. And she is also very strong and aggressive. And she's been on so many different meds, and she just can't function calmly. Ever. I could have had a life. When she was born, it's like I stopped living. I want to be able to shop without being screamed at. I want to be able to see friends or family, but it can't happen. She just screams. She just effing loses it. And I just want to be able to go for a walk together. That's it. Just life's simple pleasures. That's all we wanted for our family. I'm so completely and totally heartbroken every day. Every day. I could have made something with my life. Now I'm stuck as a caregiver to someone who just doesn't care. There's no reciprocation. She has no life, and ours is gone too. I know it sounds horrible, but I'm just so angry. I'm so resentful. I just can't believe this is my life. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. If I have to do this for much longer, I know I'll kill myself. 5. Sometimes the grief isn't linear. Yesterday, we took our daughter, 5, level 2, For this post, I'll refer to her as E. To a little girl's 6th birthday party. We're invited every year. Me and the girl's mom are friends, and we get the girls together to play a few times a year, and we always do Halloween together too. We're both busy, so it isn't as often as we'd like. Her daughter is typical, advanced even. She understands E is autistic and different from her, but she is so sweet and respects those differences. They adore each other and always hug. I'm not social at all. I have my suspicions I may be just like E, but I'm 31 and I'm not interested in pursuing it. So I feel very awkward at these parties too. I just don't know anyone aside from the host's family, and I just go because I want my daughter to have fun and see her little friend. So yesterday, I was sitting there pushing E on the wooden swing, and she was just quiet and happy in her own little world by herself. Well, my friend's daughter grabbed a microphone, and as they played a Taylor Swift song, and about 15 little girls danced around and they sang along to the song. Nothing upsetting at all. But I just out of nowhere burst into tears and walked away before anyone could notice. It was just a strong wave of emotion, seeing this crowd of tiny girls having fun and realizing how apparent the gap had become at this age. Realizing just how different she really is, just how far behind she really is. It hurt so bad, and it was hard to pull myself together. Then E did well standing in line to hit the piñata, and she actually hit it, and everyone cheered, and she loved it. But when it broke, she wasn't aggressive enough to get any candy. And she doesn't really eat candy, so I wasn't sure if she would care. But then she started crying really badly. I couldn't figure out if she was crying because the piñata broke or because she felt left out. And then I wanted to break down and cry again because I felt like I had failed her by not making sure she got candy too. We used her tears as an excuse to leave, and we went and we took her shopping. We were going to get her a piñata too, but she wanted a robot Wally toy instead. It was just a hard day. I know her happiness isn't going to be the same as a neurotypical girl's happiness, but it felt like a stab in the heart to see that developmental gap so early and so clearly. In the past years, it was just not so obvious. 6. I cannot believe this is my life. My nonverbal son is 5 years old. Our daughter is 8 and neurotypical. My son bites, hits, and laughs incessantly while actively breaking things around the house. He climbs and gets into things in ways that are unimaginable at times. And because he is so difficult, my wife cannot work and is now also homeschooling my daughter because my son doesn't sleep easily and stays up until almost 5 a.m. at times, which has forced me to work 2 different jobs, almost 80 to 100 hours a week to pay for everything. I'm tired and sore and resentful that this is my life. At times I hate him. I know it's not his fault, but part of me wishes I could leave. I also feel so bad for my daughter, who never asked for any of this and had an amazing childhood before he was born. And for my wife, who is clearly overwhelmed and started drinking too much. All of this is just too much. I wish it would get better, but it seems like it's only getting worse. I know none of this is appropriate. I feel like I can barely be around him lately without getting upset. And his laughing is driving me effing crazy. 7. I miss my wife. Hi, y'all. I've been struggling for a few years with this and wonder if anyone has a solution or has been down a similar path and what has been done. So I have this amazing, beautiful wife, and I've been with her since I was 14. And I'm 36 now, and only last year we actually got married after 20 odd years together. She's the only woman I have ever let into my life. We have 3 amazing children, 18, 16, and 7. The youngest is on the lowest end of the ASD spectrum, and in the last 4 years, the whole rotation has just flipped, turned upside down. I work a job which earns enough so that my wife can stay home and look after that end of stuff, and I do everything that I possibly can to help around the job. We have absolutely 0 family support, and I am so sad because she is so tired after dealing with the little dude from when she wakes up to when she goes to sleep. And there is no us anymore. Whenever she gets free time, I feel so selfish to even dare think to take that away for my own wants and needs. Yet, I am a man and miss the feel of her. And I have such a high drive. And we have gone from enjoying each other's company almost every night to almost never at all. And I have to sleep downstairs because little dude won't let us share a bed. He will always get in the middle because he wants to snuggle and feel loved, and that's such a beautiful thing. But we need our time as well. The oldest 2 were such a joy to raise into young adulthood, and they are doing very well for themselves. With my youngest, he just won't leave my wife alone. He is always hanging off of her, and she can't even eat without him getting involved. The minute she thinks she has a minute to herself, he is there squealing that sound that he does, and I can see that he has worn her out. Screams and smears poo are everywhere as he is not toilet trained. And I don't know what to do, but my wife is depressed and in career mode 24/7, and there is no husband anymore. I'm just someone to share the home. We love each other so much, and all we want is to be intimate again and do things just me and her, like the movies, restaurants, etc. But this will never happen again, and my heart is broken. I know I sound like a selfish arse, but I am just being honest. I'm broken, and I'm trying to stand strong by her. And I've had people say that I should just leave and find somebody else. And I've seen studies that show 80% of marriages end at some point when a low-functioning autistic child gets introduced. Is anyone experiencing something similar? Or is this just my house? So there you have it. 7 reasons why you should hug an awesome mom or an awesome dad today. And 7 pretty good reasons why you should have more compassion in the community. Awesome mom and dads need not be ashamed. We're here for you.